All right, everybody, welcome out to the Logroom Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, April the 25th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
I have nothing to eat.
That seems like it poses a problem for the show. You are always eating. Even when you're not home, you're eating.
Yeah, I'm not. Huh.
Well,
I guess I'll just have to drink.
I was going to say, it'll give you more room for beer.
Yes, more room for beer. Always more room for beer. I do wish I had some of these. I don't know. I'm torn on these. I just saw a post for some Oreo cookies.
Okay.
Or s'mores is Oreos.
S'mores. I saw another like a chocolate thunder Oreo cookie. I saw that in the store the other day, actually.
Interesting. I'm sorry.
Double chocolate thunder. I don't know. It was like a disgusting.
They can make a mango version. It'll be Tropic Thunder.
Oh my god. Or mango and chocolate? No, that's not good.
No. Oh, ow. No, that's not good. I'm sorry. The original Oreo is the perfect.
Yeah.
It's the perfect mass-produced cookie. I'm sorry.
Enough
of this double stuff, triple stuff, all stuffed.
They did make the one time. They did make the. You ever see the thin ones, like the thin cookies? Right. Yeah. They made one with mint. And while they weren't thin mint cookies from like they weren't as good as the thin mints from the Girl Scouts, they were a suitable replacement. They weren't bad. They weren't bad.
Okay.
But you're right though. No, the double stuff to the regular ones, just that's what you need. You don't need any of this other hypey bullshit.
Yeah, stuff's probably illegal.
Really. I'm shocked you weren't eating zucchini bread.
Well, it is National Zucchini Bread Day, but
happy National Zucchini Bread Day.
I also did not hug a plumber today.
It's Happy Hug a Plumber Day.
Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't do that either.
Mm-hmm. And I heard it is actually World Penguin Day, too.
I also didn't hug a penguin either.
Hug a penguin?
Yeah, no.
And
they're probably gross to eat. I
wouldn't want to do that. It's also, and it's also Happy DNA Day, just to round it out.
So. Something we all have, I think.
Yes, that's true. So.
Some of ours come from shallower ends of the gene pool, but
this is very true. But we got them all in there, so that's good.
At least I get my feet wet.
So we got a lot of good beer to drink, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So why don't we just get right to it? Why don't we bring the guest in?
Who's the guest today?
The guest is Mr. Albert Gattullo. There he is, right there.
Hey, wait a second.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, damn it! I missed something.
What did you miss?
Oh, sorry. Can you take him out, bring him back in again?
Okay.
Hold on while this loads here.
All right. Hold on. Tell me when it's loaded, then I'll take him out and bring him back in.
Okay. It's loaded.
It's loaded? Okay. Here we go. Welcome to the show, Mr. Albert Gattullo.
Hey. Hi.
There you go. All right.
By the way, you guys forgot one thing.
What's that?
It is National Telephone Day. Today is the day that Alexander Graham Bell, for those who believe that he invented the phone and not Meucci, introduced the phone to the general public.
I blame Samurai because these days are all samurais.
Yeah. Meucci's. I'm in the Meucci camp. It's also Perfect Date Day.
Perfect Date Day.
Now, this Perfect Date Day comes from a meme with William Shatner. When they asked him, he goes, they ask him in a beauty contest, what's your perfect date?
They didn't ask him. He asked.
Oh, that's right. He asked contestant. She went, April 25th, because it's not too hot. It's not too cold.
You could just go out with a light sweater.
Nothing but a light jacket, I think.
Light jacket, right? Yeah.
All you need is a light jacket. So it became that became viral.
Yeah, so it's perfect date.
April 25th is perfect date.
Well, I think Al and I beg to differ with you. I think both Al and I think that this Friday's date's the better date.
And
this is true.
Yeah.
This is because 2 of the 3 people that you see here were born on that date.
That's right.
The other person you see was born 8 days ago.
This is true.
So, April's a good month.
April's a great month. It is
just
a wonderful month to be alive.
That's right.
Wonderful month. And apparently, it's what? Before we get to who else,
let's open some beers.
I got to open a beer. Dave, Al, what are you drinking? You already started drinking.
I am drinking a Coney Island beach beer because I'm interviewing the head brewer of Coney Island Brewery this week on my show, Jim Betts, who used to brew at Wet Ticket in Rahway.
Mm-hmm.
Is he related to Dickie?
No, he's not. But I'll tell you, it's the first time I was at Coney Island Brewing. No, not. First time I was at Coney Island Brewing a couple of weeks ago. I have to tell you, the place is fantastic.
It is
a very large tap room. I was surprised at how big it was.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And yeah, I mean, come on, you're right at the boardwalk. Nathan's Hot Dog. You got the Brooklyn Cyclones. He ordered L&B Spumoni Gardens that day for us to snack on while we were.
Sounds awful. Sounds awful.
Yeah, it's a terrible.
I saw you eating that. I'm like, you know what? I am so jealous right now.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was good.
Now, is he a big guy? Because I like big bets.
No, actually, Jim is not a big guy. Okay. He's actually a couple inches shorter than me, and in reasonably good shape, which means he has not drank as much of his product as
most brewers do.
Other stuff. Yeah.
The cool thing about what he does at Coney Island, because for those of you who don't know, Coney Island Brewery is owned by Samuel Adams, hence why I have my beer in a Samuel Adams glass.
There you go. Very appropriate glassware.
They allow him to play around with a one-barrel pilot system to basically do what he wants in the brewery, and they're brewery-only beers. They're not canned in any way, and he likes to play around, and he likes doing classic stuff, but he likes to play around with some of the recipes and stuff. So he's made some pretty cool stuff. It's a great place, and they even have a kitchen in there too. You can eat in there, which is great.
Oh, that's right, because it's not Jersey.
That's right. They can do fun things.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, the space is really cool. Like I said, right on the boardwalk. The Brooklyn Cyclones are right there. Nathan's is right there. The Ford Theater is right there too for the amphitheater. Right there too.
So other than that,
not the Ford Theater in DC.
That's right. Hey, Abe, duck. Ooh.
What are you drinking, Samurai?
Well, out of this glass, I am drinking a coffee cream ale.
Yeah, but it's not the one you would expect to be drinking.
No, it's not the one. This is from it's from my trip out to Utah. They're in Salt Lake City, Ketos. I think I drank some of their stuff a couple weeks ago when you and Matt were in New York.
Yep, you did. Yeah.
So this is quite lovely. It's got an interesting color to it. It's mostly clear.
Yeah, but you know what? Your coffee cream ale out of that glass, that's nice, but this is 4.7% as opposed to the 12% that you're used to drinking.
Yes, it is. That's why there's also no lactose in this.
There you go.
So we've got a few differences here.
So it's.
I don't think there's any lactose in it. It doesn't taste like it. And
I'm guessing that
and I can't taste it.
I'm guessing that since they called it a coffee cream ale, I'm guessing it's just a cream ale.
Yeah.
With coffee in it.
Yes, it's not an imperial coffee cream ale.
And it's not a cream ale like, that they put milk sugar in. Whatever. Yes. I'm drinking, just to round it out, I'm drinking a Sisyphus. From Silver Branch Brewing. I got this one. I was down in Silver Springs, Maryland, down in D.C. A few weeks ago.
Very nice.
It's their anniversary IPA. This is the 4th year they did it. So, their 4th anniversary.
Cool.
See how quick I did that? I'm good.
That was cool. And you know who else had a 4th anniversary past weekend?
That would be Steve Bauer from Ghost Talk.
Yes,
that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did represent for us. Cheers!
So cheers to Steve Bauer.
Cheers.
4 years.
Cheers to 4 years.
They put on a really good event there. They had some tents. They took over the whole parking lot and it looks.
Did they have the craft
arts and crafts.
Arts and craft show and some other tents and some stuff and
it looks like Rutt's Hut was really cool about letting people park in their parking lot.
They did last year too.
Yeah, because they knew they're getting business from it.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. How can you not see? That's the thing. How can you not go there and have the beer and then not walk across the street and get a ripper? I mean, that's sacrilege if you don't do that.
Well, I got a cremator last time.
Did you?
Okay.
On purpose?
Yes.
I was going to say because
and
I
usually.
But the point is you went there.
Yes.
Right, but the point is you went there. That's the whole thing.
Oh yeah. You have to. It's right there.
I did the week before. I did the Sunday before. I had some Thuman dogs, grilled them up, and my father brought down a quart of Rutt's Hot Relish. He stopped over. They got Rutt's Hot Relish. So while they weren't deep fried, they were grilled. Same hot dogs, but I mean,
it's
very similar.
Because I used to go Weller's, but now I think I'm on the cremator.
Cremators are good. Once in a while, I have a cremator, but I usually go back and forth with just a Ripper or Weller. I usually unfortunately, I get like 3, and then onion rings, and then usually a small cup of chili, and then if I'm there long enough, and I'm still, I'm in their hot dogs, right? So I'll wind up ordering a 4th. So I try to get out of there before I order the 4th.
God help anybody driving home with you.
Well, I'm usually by myself. That's why I'm in charge. If I'm not by myself, don't worry. I'm getting pulled out of there before I order the 4th. So anyway,
no, they should be pulled out of there before you go to the chili.
Well, right. Well, no, I don't get any beans in with chili. They have chili with beans, and they have it without. You can order it both ways. So I only get a small cup of the meat chili, and I'll eat it. I usually sometimes don't even finish it, but I'll eat it with the rings. Actually, I won't eat it with the hot dogs. They put the relish on the hot dogs. So, but that's me. Call me silly.
Okay, silly. We'll call you silly for the rest of the show. Change your tag now.
No, it's changed. Yeah. I need another beer and call me silly. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about what we're here for. That would be
because we're here every Tuesday.
Because we're here today.
Today. Without why we asked Al to be on the show. Actually,
that would be
it's a damn good reason for that.
Exactly. That would be because of Mr. Krill and his proceedings that he started yesterday. Right? Or I guess it was coming. He just announced it yesterday or whatever. But yeah, Cape May Brewing Company. They've been around since 2011, same as Carton and Kane. They're buying one of the oldest breweries in New Jersey, Flying Fish, in Somerdale. Crazy.
Didn't see this coming.
Who saw this coming? Really?
Nobody.
I mean,
nobody. And to be honest with you, I mean, look, I think it's a good deal for Cape May. I actually reached out to them to see if Ryan would be available for interviews, but they're holding off until the deal is close to being closed, which is sometime next month. And then they're going to circle back and we'll schedule something. So I'll get Ryan on the program probably before the end of the month of May. Look, I think Ryan's ultimate goal is to continue to build the Cape Beverage business, the distribution arm of his business. Putting Flying Fish in there helps, but I think it's also Flying Fish is one of the oldest breweries, if not that, them and Climax fight it out as being the oldest brewery in New Jersey. And let's be fair, Flying Fish has not been relevant for at least
while,
4 to 5 years, at least maybe even further back,
probably a little longer.
Yeah. I think I was looking on my Untapped check-ins. I think the last time that I actually checked in a Flying Fish beer was 2018, and probably the last time I had one was probably 2019, and that was probably at a festival where I'd have a sip of something. I don't know the financials. I don't know obviously they're not going to release what they paid for it, but clearly Cape May wants to continue to expand their business. They need the room. You have a brewery that is not doing that well, I'm guessing, which is why they sold it. And I think the result of the restrictions that were put in place last year and then go back to the pandemic, I think I've heard Flying Fish. Nobody really sees them. I don't see them anywhere on tap anywhere in Jersey.
I agree with you 100%. And I'll throw a couple other things in there too. One, if you think about this too, Flying Fish's business model, and granted, they had a nice tap room and it was a pretty decent size too. Clearly a lot bigger than they had, before they moved into the new building when they were in the old building that Jamie's in. Right. With Forgotten Boardwalk. But they had, as big as the tap room was, as nice as it was, the model really wasn't that. I mean, their model was distro. Plain and simple, their model was distro. If you went back, I'm sure you guys were there. If you went back in that production area, that was a distribution, that was a production facility. That wasn't a brewery that's making a bunch of small batch beers to really bolster the taproom sales. They were all about distro, and with the restrictions, tightened what they could do in the taproom to begin with. Plus, we all know what distro's like right now. I mean, especially with the pandemic,
it's hard.
So many other breweries came to the state that would not have been in this state if it weren't for the pandemic, because everybody had so much extra beer that they packaged.
But also, I think when it comes to Cape May Cape May's model is distro. Their tap room is nice, but their whole, at least in my opinion, the way I look at it is I think their whole model is built on distribution. And to get it in as many places, right, to get it in as many places in the state as possible. And, they really started out as a Southern New Jersey brewery, but in the last, 4 to 5 years, they've really pushed it to get it north. Yeah. So, that's their whole model. They could, I think they're happy to get people in the tap room. And I think it's a destination when you go down to Cape May. You have to go and visit it. Obviously, there are a couple of other breweries in Cape May, but Cape May Brewing is the one that you visit first before you go to the other ones while you're there. I think with Flying Fish, the problem was the beer wasn't that good. I mean, let's face it. I think they missed the mark on hazy IPAs. Mm-hmm. Their hazy wasn't that good. They were doing other stuff very well before the hazy IPA craze and never really picked up on it and said, all right, we have to join everybody else.
They didn't keep up with the times. They didn't keep up. They didn't. It's this industry is a what have you done for me lately industry.
Yeah.
And even some of the beers that I did like changed. That cranberry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That used to be such a good beer and it just became cloying.
Right.
Bog, something bog.
The
cranberry bog.
Yeah, the bog from Cape May. You're talking Cape May, not Flying Fish.
Yeah, you were talking Cape May, so I was stuck following along at home.
To me, the other thing is this, and I think it's become more relevant over the past couple of years, before the pandemic and now, and even more so post-pandemic. Mm-hmm. If you're not making good beer, people are not buying you. If you're not relevant in the conversation and you've got that shelf space in the liquor store, people are not buying you. They're not going
unless you live in that neighborhood.
Right. But that's if you're going to stay small, that's fine.
Right.
But if you're looking to expand, you want people talking about you and wanting, hey, I got to get this beer in here. I have to, I go to my local beer bar and I say, you got to get these guys on tap. These guys are really good. That's the thing. Plus, let's not forget, they laid off a bunch of people. Their sales guy, who I knew, Chris.
I know Chris very well. He was there forever and
forever. Done. Yeah, they just see you later, and he was out the door. And I think that was before the pandemic.
That was just before the pandemic.
Where did Chris wind up going?
Right now, he's
at Tavern on the Lake. Right,
he's managing Tavern on the Lake.
He's back to Tavern on the Lake. Okay,
yeah,
that's where I met him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean that's that's the other thing. If you don't have a sales staff that's selling your product. Mm-hmm. How are you going to know? I mean, that's
they just decided to rely on the distribution channels. That's it.
Which is look, any distribution arm in New Jersey has got 15 to 25 to 50 beers in their portfolio. The newest one that comes in is going to get the biggest push, and if it's doing well, they're going to continue to push that. And after that, everything else just sort of drops down.
Yep.
I don't think it's necessarily for smaller breweries. I don't think distro is the way to go. I think self-distribution is probably the way to go. In the interim to push your product because you know your product well enough.
Yep. And
sometimes, look, you have to make a sacrifice when you're running a business like that. Do you do both? If you can't afford to hire somebody, maybe you have to sort of juggle a couple of different hats to get your beer out there. But Flying Fish has not been relevant since the Exit series. I think, what? I'll be honest with you. The last time Flying Fish was relevant, in my opinion, was Sandy. When they did the
FU Sandy beer. That was the last time they were really, yeah. And that's over 10 years ago.
Yes.
Right.
That's over 10 years ago.
And what's interesting, I just learned a month ago because I took my daughter was visiting, went down to the aquarium. They've got a beer garden in the aquarium in Camden.
Yes.
It wasn't open because it's still
new.
Too early.
Right.
That's newer. Yeah.
It's only been 1 year going. This will be a second year maybe.
Yeah.
So it's so they obviously were looking to expand. Outside of distro.
On that note, what Al just said, I'm going to throw this up really quick. Gene Lynch commented in cheers, gentlemen. And Gene, you and I, Al, are the 28th. Gene's the 29th, by the way. Just so happy birthday to Gene, too.
That's right.
There you go.
Oh, you tore eye.
There you go. Gene. And whatchamacallit. And Dave Campanelle just commented in Exit Series was the best they ever did. Yeah. And it was. Everything they did in the Exit Series.
Yes.
It was good.
Yeah.
And he said they haven't been relevant since Exit 7 Pork Roll Porter. There you go. You stole my thunder for something later.
No, I'm kidding.
It's Taylor Ham, right? Yeah, Dave, you're in North Jersey. It should be Taylor Ham.
I grew up in Pork Roll.
Right.
And I grew up in Taylor Ham. Right. Yeah.
But since the Exit series, they haven't really done anything that makes people go, I have to go out and get this beer.
And they took one of their best Exit series, put it into 12 ounces, and ruined the beer.
Yeah, they did.
Exit 9.
I agree with that. They
turned it into Redfish, and Redfish is nowhere near as good as Hoppy Scarlet Red.
No, the Hoppy Scarlet, the Exit 9 Hoppy Scarlet Red. That was the beer. Hoppy Scarlet Ale, yeah. That was the beer to go with. That was the thing. Whoever they hired, and I know a lot of the elder statesmen there, Glenn, and all of them, but whoever they hired in marketing, and I forget his name, and I don't mean to cast aspersions, but made a couple of wrong moves. Not necessarily detrimental moves by any means, but the biggest was not keep. My point was the biggest was not keeping the Exit series.
Yep.
And because that was a thing, and I get to a point why they probably disbanded it because it was old, right? But it was their thing, And
how was it old?
Change it up.
It's like Bolero and all the bull puns, right? I mean, the Exit series could have went on forever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 162 miles of Parkway.
I know.
Yeah, but the Exit series,
they didn't have to just stay on a turnpike. They could have done the Parkway.
They could have gone to the Parkway.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
It was numerous things that they could have done. It's again, it's my whole thing. If you're not making good beer, they're not going to buy you. Your name will only carry you so far. If Kane didn't shift to doing IPAs and stayed with Belgians, like the original, what Mike Kane wanted to do, right?
Right.
Do you think Kane would be as big as they are now?
No,
not a chance. If he would have just stuck to his guns and said, "Screw it, I'm just gonna, be narrow focused and stay right where I'm at," he wouldn't be anywhere where he's at. Same thing with Augie. Mm-hmm. And I know you guys have the whole thing with the name. I'm only going to mention it once, but he changed, right? I mean, he shifted different things to make keep his beer relevant,
and even more recent because he's gotten strong into the lager game,
right?
So,
I think the lager thing though. Is a byproduct of the pandemic. I've asked a number of people about this, and when I talked with Jim Cook a few weeks ago, he did say that he agreed with me that he thinks that the pandemic had a lot to do with a lager resurgence because guys had more time to put beer. To let it sit. They had to get rid of their, older inventory and get it out the door. And they had time to let beer sit for 8 weeks, in a cooler when they couldn't sell anything.
Yeah, and there's a two. Hold on, Dave.
There's a devil's advocate to this.
You could say that in a minute, but there's a twofold to that too. They had time to get rid of the stuff that wanted to get out the door, and they had time to sit on the beer. Plus, you can sit on lagers packaged and kegged already a lot longer than you can sit on IPAs. So yes, absolutely, you're absolutely right. Absolutely.
But I'm going to play devil's advocate here. You can make all the lager you want. If the people aren't buying it, it doesn't matter. So the lager resurgence from the drinker's point of view, the customer's point of view, I think it's more of a flashback on we're sick and tired of these DIPA houses that just I've got the same recipe. And I'm just going to change 1 hop here, 2 hops here. Right. I'm going to have 7 hops in this one. And you know what? I switched out cashmere for Matueka this time.
Right. But think about it. When you guys go and shop, at a liquor store.
And I know who you're talking about too, but I'm not even going to go there.
But when you guys go and shop,
right?
Are you looking more for a good lager now?
Yes.
Or are you looking for something? Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean,
I'm looking for lagers. I'm looking for pilsners. I'm looking for.
But yeah, because to your point, they weren't available. They weren't available.
Right.
So, but they also have to sell.
And the other thing, there are breweries that are doing just that. I mean, Wild East in Brooklyn mostly does
their stuff.
Mostly does classic stuff and lagers. They do a few IPAs, not many. The Seed is the same way down in Atlantic City.
Yep.
They do a couple of. They do a couple of IPAs, but for the most part, it's grisettes and English milds and saisons and stuff that they enjoy, and they seem to be doing well. And people are like, "Oh my God, these guys are so innovative!" When all they're doing is just going back to
old styles,
original styles.
That's amazing too.
And maybe that's
I was just up by Doug too, up at Wild Air, Dougie Fresh. at Wild Air. They're doing the same thing. They got one IPA, and everything else is grisettes, sours, lagers, everything.
Well, John knows when I was in Salt Lake City, my favorite brewery when I was there was Templin Family. Mm-hmm. Templin Family, very, very heavy on lagers. Yes, they had their IPAs and a couple of sours, but other than that,
oh my God, I have to stop you. This is friggin' amazing.
What are you drinking?
Hold that thought. All right, I got to put this up. My second beer here. Evolution Single 2 from Tin Barn.
Very nice.
Right there.
But it's Tin Barn.
It's Tin Barn. Oh my God. The nose on this. Oh, sorry. Continue. I'm sorry. I gotta find a tissue. Hold on a second. Go.
It's almost like he was reminiscing of a Pete Alonso home run.
There we go.
601.
Bear. So we got it's funny because Dave Campaneel's got a comment right after Gene.
Yeah, let me throw these up really quick.
Let me put that up there because I want to talk about Gene's comment. The rebrand was even dreadful.
Right, yeah.
And I agree with
Dave
that.
Campanelle said the rebrand was even dreadful. Absolutely it was.
Right.
And he says, what was the thought about the fried ice cream stout they did?
That I don't remember that one.
I don't. Yeah.
But the thing I want to say about that is that it's funny because they gave up the Exit series and then they moved to a larger space.
Yep.
Right.
No. They moved to a larger space. Then they gave up the Exit series. They were in the new space.
That's still the timing.
Jamie's been around since. Jamie's probably 9 years now.
Yeah,
and they didn't give up the Exit series. They didn't give up the Exit series till like 2017. They gave it.
Yeah, you're correct. But still, it is.
And again, I applaud Cape May for coming in and trying to revitalize the brand. And from what it seems, somebody was saying, well, maybe they're just going to get rid of Flying Fish altogether and it's just going to be all Cape May. I don't think that's the parameters of the deal. From what I've read, they're acquiring the business. They'll take over in terms of producing Flying Fish beers. Look, Cape May is going to have to do a rebrand of it, right? Yeah. I mean, so are they going to continue to call it Flying Fish? And if so, I think you have to brand it in a way that meets a segment of Jersey. If you're going to continue to call it Flying Fish, have a fisherman series of beers. Do something that sort of,
name it after rivers. Oh no, wait, that's being done.
No, by two breweries, right? Yes. I mean, if you really think about it,
you think about that. Yeah.
I mean, look. Obviously, Flying Fish needs a rebrand. What I hope is that Cape May doesn't come in and just sort of tweaks their recipes a little bit to taste more like Cape May beers. I want to see them. If you're going to do it, go for broke. You've already acquired the business. Make some things that are different. The reason why Sam Adams and Dogfish works is because they're complementary to one another. They don't make the same beers.
100% complementary to each other. Absolutely.
So maybe here's a way. Cape May is doing mostly double IPAs and IPAs and stuff. They have a few things that are they're what is it? The boat. Oh God, they do a Hell's Lager that's really good. Cape May, but
yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about. Just came out 2 years ago.
Yep.
Maybe move Flying Fish, reintroduce the Exit series. Why
Absolutely.
not?
They got to do that. They have to reintroduce
the first. I tell you what.
Love to see it.
First beer they should do. They should do a Cape May Flying Fish collab. It should be Exit 0 for where Cape May is.
Yep.
And just come up with something. Free advertising. There it is. Exactly. Free marketing.
A lobster or a clam goza or whatever.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Oh,
something. But
no one's done a lobster beer yet. Oh no, that's not true.
Narragansett did lobster.
Yep, Narragansett has.
But they definitely need to.
But they didn't put lobster in it to drink with lobster.
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
But they definitely need to do something and if they're going to do it, go for broke and create beers that Cape May is not making. Cape May doesn't normally do a lot of stouts. Flying Fish should start doing them. That's what they should be doing. They should be, sort of complementing off of one another.
Absolutely.
And go for broke.
100%,
Now,
1% agree.
But their locations are not that far away from one another, right? I mean, Summerdale is.
I mean, you could no traffic, a little over an hour.
Okay,
yeah, it's a drive. Yeah, because there's no direct route to it.
An hour 10,
go up.
Well, no, you got to go up to the Atlantic City Expressway and cut across. Yep. So it's about an hour and 15 minutes. About an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes if there's no traffic.
I did do this. You saw me do that, right?
You did.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you can't go across, but there's too many lights.
But you know what's funny?
Quicker going over. But
it's almost like in the reverse of what Stone did, right? Stone, was trying to spread out all over the place. They built the brewery in Germany. It wasn't a success. But in the meantime, Greg Cook was sort of building up his distribution business in Southern California. And when Sapporo came in and bought them, he was happy to just continue to run the distribution business of other people's beers, in California, and happy to give up the big brand. I'm wondering, again, I still wonder, why would Ryan come in and buy them? Mm-hmm. Like, what's the impetus of buying them? Mm-hmm. Clearly, Flying Fish was getting ready to walk and close up. So, again, nobody was clamoring for Flying Fish beer. So what's the impetus behind all of this?
Hopefully they're thinking what you're thinking. Let's make it a complimentary brewery. Let's revitalize the Exit series. Let's get into styles that Cape May is not known for, so we can stay in our lane, give them their lane. That's they really should put you in charge of production. I think that's what should happen here.
No. But they should. But 100%, they should keep the Exit series. I mean, that's silly not to. And they should absolutely kick it off with the Parkway series, and you have 162 miles to sort of choose from.
100%. The only thing I thought of is, what was the impetus of Ryan buying it? It's like, what if he was, in my mind, I'm thinking that he was somewhere one night discussing what's going on in New Jersey with the ABC and the laws and everything else and restrictions with Gene, right? And Ryan and Gene were sitting down, and Gene takes a sip of his beer, turns to Ryan, and says, "You want to buy it?" That's
and then he goes, "Oh,
because
I can make this better."
Yeah, did Ryan Krill wake up one morning and say, "Hey, I'm going to call Gene Mueller and say, I want to buy your brewery"?
Well, wait a second. But here's also the other thing. This is the first time in New Jersey history that a Jersey brewery has bought another Jersey brewery.
Yeah. This is why it's such big news here. Are there any restrictions?
I think this is uncharted territory for the ABC, right? I mean,
it's uncharted.
What I'm saying is, Cape May can't open up a satellite branch of Cape May.
No,
right? They get so. That's the other thing. I think that's the fear of, is Cape. What I hope that they don't do is Cape May is just going to continue to make their beer and put it in Flying Fish bottles and call it Flying Fish.
And call it Flying Fish, right? Yeah.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not.
No,
they got to keep it separate. But here's my other question too, and I've wondered about this, because on every level of licensing, if you will, in the state, it's 2 licenses, right? It's 2 licenses. So, for instance, like Bolero has Bolero Brewing and Bolero Distribution. Right. They're done. They have 2, right?
Right.
Cape May has Cape May Brewing and Cape May Distribution. Now they're buying Flying Fish.
Well, Flying Fish Beverage.
Cape Beverage.
Different names. So
it's still
the same. Yeah.
It's still right. So that's 2. So how is I'm obviously there's a way that this can work. I'm just curious as to how it does. For a lot of reasons. We'll talk about that later, but I'm just curious, is it a corporation? Does the name have to come off one and go on another? And you know what I mean? That it's because that would be 3 licenses. That would be of that corporation. Point. That would be 3 licenses: Cape May, Cape Beverage, Cape May. Yeah, Brewing,
because nothing in the press release says that Flying Fish has any sort of control,
right?
Moving forward, that they're taking Cape May is acquiring the business. They're acquiring their production facilities and their tasting room and all the recipes and whatever, and they're going to be in command. So, I think that's
an interesting point.
So I wonder if it sets a precedent here. It's interesting that this deal is happening now before, July 1 and all of the other stuff that's going on with the breweries. So
I'm looking forward to that, but we'll talk about that on another show. We'll do that on
listen, Murphy bringing in mayors from across the state to try and rally to get them to change the licenses is, absurd.
No. I've heard some other things too, and I'm not sure if you've heard it. So we'll talk.
But how do you bring in a third of the mayors of the state, and they all go, yeah, we want liquor licenses. Well, yeah, you can't do anything about it. It's only the legislature. And by the way, the first bill that they introduced, the legislature says this isn't getting out of committee. So time to break it up into 3 different bills. Right. Not a good sign.
No, not a good sign at all.
Not a good sign.
No. But he can't do anything about it, though.
Yeah.
Definitely can't. Yeah. You can't do a thing about it.
Yeah, I heard that message loud and clear.
No authority.
Yeah, okay, you can't do anything about it. That's like...
I'm sorry, Governor. Does the director of the ABC serve at your pleasure? Yes, he does. Oh, and you can't? Okay, yeah, sure.
By the way, did you ever get him on your show?
Who, Murphy?
Yeah.
No.
I know you.
He wouldn't come on.
I equate his I can't. I equate that to a son looking at his father and saying, I can't take out the garbage. Right? You can't?
I equated to Christie yelling at everybody in Atlantic City when Sandy was coming, get off the beach.
Get off the beach. Right?
And he's sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh God! And they resurfaced that picture a lot.
All the time. Well,
it'll be
anyway.
It'll be resurfacing in a couple of weeks if he's running for president.
Exactly.
I got my second beer.
What's your second beer? I threw mine up there. What's yours?
You threw up?
I threw up over here, right on the floor over there. I'll clean up later.
It's early.
Yeah. Okay. Back to Ketos.
Back to Ketos.
This is the barrel-aged barley wine.
Oh, have fun with that.
Oh, yeah. You've got some Coors Light there. Okay.
I have some water because
is that Trogs water?
That's it's a Trogs container that they sent me.
No, this is.
It does have water in it.
Yeah.
The regular barley wine.
Bud Light.
The non-barrel age was interesting because it was.
It's transgendered.
I'll be careful. Be careful.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to trigger anybody.
Yeah, Kid Rock's going to be shooting pictures of you soon. Your face on targets if you keep that up.
I saw him once at PNC. It was an entertaining show, I have to say.
Yeah,
the crowd more than he was fun.
He was right. The crowd's funnier. The crowd's better.
But it was Kid Rock and Foreigner, which was interesting.
That's odd.
To me,
but it worked.
To me, Kid Rock's like the American white version of Drake. They both try to be street, but they grew up in mansions.
That's insulting to Drake, I think. Right?
You're probably. Drake can at least sing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
We'll give him that.
So I'll throw one comment up really quick. Thomas Fulger said, "Good evening, Samurai."
Thomas. So Thomas was one of my bosses at work. The new department I'm in, I've been there for a little over 2 years. I've had 4 bosses. He was boss number 2.
There you go.
And I'm not ranking. He was just the second one chronologically.
There you go. And also, Gene said, "Happy birthday, old man." I know he's referring to me, but he should be referring to Al too. We should say happy birthday, old men, because Al is a whole day older than him.
That's true.
That is true.
Fair point. Fair point.
There you go. So anyway, so back to this. So yeah. So you know what? It was out of left field. Nobody was expecting it.
Totally.
I personally think this could be a good thing. Certainly, it's going to be, look, if they do the right thing with Flying Fish and they don't use it, like you said, Al, if they don't use it as another way to package Cape May beer and get it out and double the beer that they're making on the shelf. So, right. If they use it as the other brand and they do the right thing by it and they complement each other, it's a good way to get Flying Fish back up and be relevant again. So I think that's a good thing.
And if I were them, I mean, again, we're poking fun and whatever, but we want to see both of these businesses succeed, obviously.
Yes, of course.
If it were me doing this as acquiring this business, I would sort of strip it down a little bit. I would take 4 to 6 of their, what beers did you make really great, and I take those 4 to 6 beers, and rebrand them, repackage, whatever the case may be, and get them out there. You have to do a big push, whether it's now, obviously with Cape May acquiring it, it's obviously under the Cape Beverage banner and their distribution and whatever.
Well, did you read what they said?
Oh, that's right. They did say they would continue to use their distribution. So that's where I think Ryan has to go to their distributor. And I don't know who distributes them. Is it
they're most of the Coors houses have Flying Fish.
Okay.
So there would be Kohler up north. Okay. I think it's Shore Point in Central Jersey, and then Kramer down south.
So then, look, they have to go to those distributors and say, look, we need to make a big push here and get this new product out there. And now if that means they have to hire somebody to cover the territories, then they hire somebody. You've already spent the money to buy the business. What's an extra, 50, 60 grand or whatever it is that they're going to pay, a salesperson to get those beers in bars and start attacking craft brewery bars, all over the state.
And I'll be honest with you, Chris was ferocious, and he was a great salesman,
Yes,
especially for that brand. He was
right.
He went to bed with that brand every night.
Yeah, he lived and breathed it.
He did, and for them to let them go, I mean, that was something. I mean, I knew Gene clearly not as well as I know Chris. Obviously, I'm friends with Chris. I hung out with Chris. I just know Gene, right? But for that to happen, I was upset at that for Chris. Obviously, I think I was more upset than Chris was, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he was the face of Flying Fish.
He really was all over the state, and
a one man band. I mean, it wasn't like he had a lot of help. I would see him.
No, he'd be at every festival.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and setting up by himself, Big Ten. He'd have a couple of different things on tap, and I think the last 2 times that I saw him, it was mostly cans. He didn't have a lot of draft. It was so you could see that things were sort of on the decline.
Yeah, the last
he had a while ago. He did have help for about a year. He had help in the form of like a per diem guy. And it was Joe Granat actually was his that was Joe's first foray into sales, and now he's.
And I think the last Flying Fish I ever drank was at a festival because Chris was there.
Yep. Right. I think it was probably Allison's.
It probably was.
Brew.
You know what? It probably was.
It was 2019.
But you went up to it. But that's just it. That's what I'm saying. You went there and you had the beer because Chris was there. Not because it was Flying Fish, because Chris was there.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens with this. We'll definitely pay attention to this, and we'll cover this, and we'll post anything. And Al's going to post, I'm sure, as much, if not a lot more than we do too. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna chat about it this weekend. I'm actually taping the segment tomorrow, but I'm hoping that within
you have
3 weeks or so, we'll have Ryan on, because I think they did say the deal was going to close by the end of May. So my guess is they probably want to get it done before Memorial Day. So I'm hoping that before that I can get him on and ask him a few questions.
So the Facebook page is Gattullo Beer Cast.
AG Craft Beer Cast. If you do Facebook.com/AG Craft Beer Cast.
And so if you're interested in listening, tune in there, look it up there, and Al posts who he's going to have on, what beer is going to be on.
You can tune in. You can tune in online, and you can tune in every Sunday night. It's 11 o'clock, right? 11 o'clock.
Yep. 11 o'clock.
9:70 a.m.
Yep, that's right.
And you can get it, and you can even get it. You don't even have to have a radio. You can get it online on 9:70 a.m. The Answer.
Right.
And like we went the last time one time I was on the show with Matt, I was actually in Lancaster, Pennsylvania when the show aired. So I'm on my phone listening to it on the web on 9:70 a.m.
And the studio that he does that one in is at 86 degrees.
No, not anymore.
No, it's a little
put my
cooler
foot down on that one. No, hey, the Friday the AC wasn't working. I walked in on Monday, the AC wasn't working. I said, if it ain't working on Tuesday morning, I'm turning around and going home. And Tuesday morning, it was a meat locker. So there you go.
I got to throw this comment up there. Mandy Calderon Jr. says, happy to see Climax and Ramstein still making quality, consistent liquid.
All right.
All right.
Ramstein makes good beer.
Yes, they do.
Greg,
not so much.
Greg makes very good beer. I love Greg. Greg's a great guy.
He's phenomenal. He's
And he was telling me he's grandfathered in New York because he's at the Tap NY Festival, which is taking place next month at Bethel Woods.
At Bethel Woods,
they're doing it at Bethel. And
which I mean, it was great at Hunter every year, but I haven't been up. You went to Hunter. You went to Bethel last year, right?
I went to Bethel last year, and that was the weekend that it was 100 degrees.
Yes.
And very little shade, and it was sort of haphazardly run because with the ticket price, you got food included and all kinds of other stuff. We did the VIP. Mm-hmm. We did the VIP session, and there were other perks for the VIP that they sort of really didn't direct us to. So I was a little upset about that they didn't really have anybody kind of telling you, you can go over here for VIP. I mean, we toughed it out, but it was brutal. I mean, it was a brutal day. This year's a little different. This year's a little different because they don't have. I don't think they're doing a VIP session this year. Right. I think they're sort of doing it a little differently. So we'll see what happens.
It's still a Saturday session and a Sunday session, though. Same thing.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Because when they had it at Hunter, prior to the pandemic, obviously when it was at Hunter, It was in April. It was the last week. It was this coming weekend every year in April. So my birthday every year, I'm up at Tap New York, right?
Right.
And but so in direct comparison to obviously in a couple of weeks in Bethel, it was snowing almost every year in
That's what everybody said
at Tap New York. Yeah. So
the one thing I want to clarify,
hold on, we were talking about Climax. Gene just said harsh, bro. There you go.
And that's all coming up. It's harsh, but the one thing I'll say,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Climax beer tastes a lot better at the brewery because you're having so much fun there. It is one of the best Friday nights that you're going to spend in a New Jersey brewery because it's just a lot, especially if Rick is on his game.
That's Cricket Hill, not Climax, though.
Oh, okay, never mind. I told you I was tired. Yeah, okay, so yeah, no, not harsh, accurate.
Accurate. And on that note, we're talking about Cricket Hill. Happy anniversary to Ed and Gwen.
42 years.
42 years.
42 years.
42 years. There you go. Anyway, enough about that. Oh, and while we're saying happy anniversary, happy birthday to Kyle Machad.
28 years.
28 years. 28 years old.
Been married 14 years longer than Kyle's been on the planet.
There you go.
That's from 12 Guns Brewing.
12 Guns Brewing.
In Rhode Island.
Yep.
I can't remember the name of the town anymore because I've been back for over 2 years now.
Yeah, no, he's up there. But
it might be one of the towns that begins with a W because there's so many damn towns.
I believe it is a W. I see a W in my mind.
It's Westerly, isn't it?
Westerly. It's Westerly. Yeah, You're right. It's Westerly, Rhode Island. So anyway, all right. On that note, I got to ask both of you, what's your earliest memory of Flying Fish beer?
Wow.
Either of you jump at it. Whoever can figure it out first, go for it.
I think it's actually going to the brewery. Took a tour down to the brewery. I remember they had
the old brewery where
Jamie is right now, where Forgotten Boardwalk is right now, the old one. And looking at going, man, this thing's a lot smaller than I thought it would be, as much beer as they have out there.
Right.
I remember they had a lot of New Jersey beer history up, which I thought was really cool. And what I thought was really odd is they sold a lot of fishing lures made out of their bottle caps. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yes.
I have one. And you know where it is? You know where it is, John?
Packed away in storage.
It's in a box in storage. It's like everything else. But that's where it is.
Because that's where 90% of everything you own is.
Actually, it's probably about 80%, and about 50% is in this desk, my mom's old roll top. Because there's so many whole pockets and slots and stuff, and drawers and things. You can shove so much stuff in this thing.
Nice.
So I think the first beer that I had from them, I was looking on my Untappd list, and it was probably a Paragon because they might not have been open yet.
Wait a second, you were a Paragon?
Oh yeah, no. the Abbey Double from them,
Abbey Double,
which was
Abbey Double,
very good.
First beer, that was the first beer I ever had from them was the Abbey Double.
Yeah,
not the Abbey Normal.
No, the Abbey Normal was a small batch thing that they did at the old brewery, right? But no, the Abbey Double that was my first too. But no, that's a while ago, Al. I mean, Paragon's only been open since what? Probably 2014.
Yeah, so that's when I had it. It was March of 14, so that's probably it.
Okay,
very possible.
Fair enough.
It'd probably be right around there. But it's interesting. Flying Fish reminds me a little bit of what happened with Weyerbacher.
Okay,
except that Weyerbacher just got a new owner instead of being acquired by another brewery. Right? I mean, Weyerbacher was doing
somebody that didn't have a brewery came in and bought up, and boom, boom, boom. Yeah,
right. And the guy who
same thing, just
different.
He came from another field. Yeah,
right. The guy who bought Weyerbacher, no, I think he was in the brewery business, but with stuff in Pittsburgh. But him and his wife had ties to Easton. And that's why they bought it.
Did they leave their old ties in Pittsburgh, or?
Yeah, I think they're there at Easton.
They did, right?
Time. I mean,
they
had a big grand opening about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're really starting to push stuff again, and I think they kept the head brewer. As long
as they keep pushing Tiny, because as long as Tiny's being made, Carrie's aunt will be happy. That's her favorite beer on the planet. She's like 73 years old, and she drinks Tiny like it's water, and then takes a nap.
Yeah, blithering idiot inherits your mind. That's it. So.
Weyerbacher was another one of those breweries that sort of missed the IPA craze, and then by the time they got in, they were so far behind.
But they made one of my favorites.
Double Simcoe was one of the best beers to this day I've ever had.
Cork and Cage, and they need to bring that back.
Mm-hmm.
But they've done things now. Like I really do want to get up there because I like their tasting room.
I was going to say we should grab Matt. The three of us and Matt should go up to Weyerbacher one day for us. We should
because it's an easy ride.
Can I come too?
The three of us and Matt. That's what I just said.
Can Al come too?
I'm sorry. Three of us
and Matt.
And Matt is
that
four.
You said three.
I'm sorry, Brian and Gene, you're invited too. Just
so
we don't get the TFTI
from Gene. Yeah. So Al, one of the rules on this show is we don't math on the show. So
I see.
John just
I don't math in real life. So
I was told there would be no math in this.
That's why I'm in radio.
Right, there you go.
So to go back, my first Flying Fish was Oktoberfish in September of 2012.
Wow.
Oktoberfish. Now mine was I can actually go back to it. My first Abbey Double, I can tell you right now. I got to get to Abbey Double here. Hold on. Where the hell is it?
I just keep going to Young Frankenstein every time you guys say that.
Abbey Double? Abbey Normal. What hump? What hump?
You know I can fix that hump.
Mm-hmm.
But give Flying Fish credit. I mean, to have been around since 1995.
Yeah, I can't find it. Really... It's got to be back then too. It's even older than that. It's probably it's got to be like 2007, 2006, 2007.
Oh, like that. Before I did, I get it. Okay, fine.
And to have
definitely got that far. Yeah, definitely that far back.
But to have a business that's coming up on close to 30 years of brewing in the state, right? Which you kind of 30 years,
right.
30 years, and up until
7 or 8 years ago.
But up until 7 or 8 years ago, they were relevant.
Right.
You saw them. It was Flying Fish. It was River Horse. Mm-hmm. It was, Climax to a degree.
And we look at the relevance fading. Part of it was because the demise of the X series, the decline in their quality, but also I think
their sales. It was Chris. They got rid of Chris and their sales thing.
Right.
But it's
there's no coincidence there.
Right. No, I don't.
That's why.
Right. But also, you saw breweries like Cane and Carton open, and after that, the floodgates open, and you had people that were pushing out better liquid than Flying Fish ever had put out.
But that's the trick now. Now that New Jersey is. Now that breweries are doing so much better in New Jersey, and again, the better is relevant, relative to all of the, the restrictions and all the other stuff. Despite that, a lot of them are succeeding. If your beer isn't good, you're not going to be around for very long. If you notice from the other distributors like Peerless and et cetera, when they bring in an out-of-state brand, they get an initial push for a little bit, and then, unless they're really, really good, they sort of fade in the woodwork. When Peerless brought Revolution Brewing in, got to be 6 years now or whatever.
No more than that. They brought Revolution in
2008
or 2015. It was 2015. They brought
Yeah. So I mean, but after that initial push, after a year or so, you see a little bit of Revolution on the shelves. Not that much.
No.
And we can talk about that. We're actually going to have Doug Valicki on the show probably in about 3 weeks. So we'll ask him about that.
But it's interesting.
Harsh bro.
Toppling Goliath.
They don't care. They sell well out in Chicago.
But they made a big deal out of Toppling Goliath coming in that everybody was like, oh, wow, this is a great beer, whatever. You rarely see it. Like, I think Paragon put something from Toppling Goliath on not too long ago, and I'm going, is this keg buried in the basement? Because, you don't see much of that.
Well, the thing is, Toppling Goliath does make some great beer. We don't get their best beer. We never got their best beer. And the beers that we do get except Pseudo-Sue.
Yeah, but to Al's point though, when they first come into the state, and I know he wasn't specific.
No, we still didn't
Revolution or Toppling Goliath,
but we still
when
didn't
they first came in the state, we got better stuff.
We got better stuff.
They sent
not the
good
best
stuff right there. Then it became once they made the push, once they got the shelf space, once they got the tap lines, then they just sent their extra shit. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be like if Surly ever enters the state, because Surly's not in the state yet. Right?
Surly's in the state.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Surly is, but we don't get Abrasive.
Mm-mm.
Right, Abrasive is their best IPA.
No, we get the high volume flagships and a couple of things they have left over.
My brother went to Minneapolis once, and in his hotel they were serving what's their standard IPA? I forget their base IPA.
I can't think of it
because he goes.
I've been to Surly twice. I can't think of it.
And he's like, I'm in the Minneapolis where I need to go. I said, you need to go to Surly. He's like, well, I just had one in the lobby of the hotel, and it wasn't really that good. I'm like, well, you had, and I remembered what it was at the time. I'm like, go there, get abrasive. He gets there. He sends me a picture of a beer he's drinking. It's obviously abrasive. And he goes, is it sacrilege to say this is better than Pliny? I'm like, no, you might actually be accurate.
Yeah.
Abrasive is
very good.
I can't remember the name of their standard.
Well, speaking of Southern California, Belching Beaver is now in Pittsburgh.
Belching Beaver is now in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
and I'll be in Pittsburgh 2 weeks from Saturday. So I will definitely be looking for some Belching Beaver, and I'll bring some back for the three of us.
Yes, but Furious is their standard.
Furious is Furious. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, so like the other night when I was out to dinner with friends at Paragon, they had Modest. They had there was a few Jersey brews on. They had Erudita and Frost Beer Works. Were all on tap. None of them local. All very good, which is good.
Frost makes great beer. I love Frost. Frost is a great beer.
Yeah. The Modest though was fantastic.
Modest is fantastic. I've been a Modest.
I'm not sure if I've had any Modest.
I've been to Modest. I've been to Minneapolis twice. I've been to Modest both times I went to Minneapolis. They make great beer.
The pale ale was 5%. I was like, I could drink this all day long. I mean, it was super.
Such a good brew.
Is it pronounced Modest or Modest?
It's Modest. Is it Modest? As if you're. I'm being modest. That's what you're saying.
That's a rip.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it just again, it's to my whole thing of you have to be really good in Jersey when you're coming out of the box.
You do,
because if you're not, you're gonna get caught behind. I mean,
but you also need representation because you get some great breweries that'll come in that put great beer on the shelf and it won't sell because there's no representation there. Like right now.
Well, I think Al was actually speaking of New Jersey breweries.
Yeah,
right.
Oh no, because we were talking about stuff coming in,
right?
But if you think about it, like Ross Brewing opened up, a couple of weeks ago.
2 weeks
ago.
They don't
have everything right. 2 weeks ago, they don't have everything open yet, but I have to give them a lot of credit that they push themselves everywhere. When you see them, they're having an event. There's they're doing all the things that they can do to get their beer out there. Whether or not people go and drink them is entirely different, but they make the push. And that's the most important thing. You've got to get, eyeballs, on that beer. The one thing that I noticed about Ross, which I thought was really great, was a lot of people from the neighborhood walking in and excited that there was something there, that they had something to look forward to as the weather was warmer, that they could walk from their condo and come.
And we know damn well that there are breweries in this state that are subpar that exist because of the local support.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean,
that's good news
is it
for
the
them.
Town? Right. Is it the town not supporting them? Is it them not doing the push? Totally, 100%. And I think you see a lot more of that down in the southern end of Jersey, where
big time down the southern end.
Yeah,
the towns are happy that they're there, but they really don't do anything to sort of, push that effort. And the breweries, to their credit, do as much as they can to get that word out there. But again, you still have to be making good beer. If you're not making good beer.
And those that have survived, that's kind of like the old European model before cars were invented, right? Each town had its brewery, and it survived because it had because people needed their beer.
Right. Well, that's part of the reason why Stone failed there. He thought he built this grand brewery, which was gorgeous, but it was too far away from public transportation. Most people don't drive.
Yep.
So they're not going to get on a train and stop and then take
and
the
DUI laws in Germany are draconian.
Well, in all of Europe, it's zero tolerance.
No tolerance. And the thing is, I understand why they decided to open there, because the one thing that we've seen in Germany recently is that they're starting to rail against Reinheitsgebot. They want the IPAs. They want the American style.
On that note, happy birthday to Reinheitsgebot, which was 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
But it's but the Germans, they want something different now. And so I can understand why they went there.
They want something different, but they
convenient.
also don't want to pay. Well, convenient, and they don't want to pay $9 for an IPA.
No, they don't.
You know,
I don't want to pay $9 for an IPA.
Well, you know, I mean, Schafferhofer figured out a way to get rid of the Reinheitsgebot a while ago. So
it's about the only one.
But it's a give and take, right? I mean, the Germans are used to drinking low alcohol stuff that's anywhere between 4% and 5%. Yep. It's at a reasonable price that they can drink all day long.
Yep.
Where now you're telling somebody, hey, come out to this brewery that's miles from the tube, and by the way, you've got to pay, X amount of dollars
for a pint. Yeah.
Right. And you're gonna get DUI when you go home.
Right. That's why it fails.
I was just gonna ask you, Dave, you open up your third beer because Okay, you did.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna open up mine, Sam. What is yours? I'll throw it up there.
So John knows full well while I was in on my vacation out in Utah, the brewery that I just gush about is Temple and Family Brewing. They've shortened it to TF Brewing because Temple and Family, I guess, is a little bit of a mouthful. This is Albion.
Mouthfeel?
Mouthfeel? No. He's not. Nosefeel? What? This is Albion. This is their triple. And when I crack the can, immediately, just the nose from those Belgian yeast. Oh my God, this is straight up freaking triple.
Very nice,
John. Because I brought a can back for Matt Patensky because Matt Patensky is a Belgian beer whore.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Don't even try that, and he'll admit that himself. He will sell his soul for a great Belgian.
Just you two wait until our 3.5 barrel system's in house. And we open
how much Belgians are going to come out.
Yeah.
But Johnny, make him share this with you.
I will definitely.
I haven't even tasted it yet.
No, right.
Just the nose on this thing.
Now, what's the name of this beer?
Albion.
Who remembers New Albion?
Yes.
Oh, I do.
Oh yes, yeah. Absolutely. And Sam Adams did a
Jim
tribute.
Cook. Jim Cook.
And Jim Cook put out oh God, what was that about 6 years ago?
No, it's more than that. It's probably almost 10 years ago, actually.
That's that light blue with the ship on it.
Yep, New Albion Ale. Yeah.
But you spelled triple wrong.
There's one P in triple.
Not on this can. And this is the one thing that we noticed when they spell triple in Utah, it's 2 P's. Even if it's like the normal triple TRIPPLE, it's 2 P's. We came across this all the time in Utah. There's 2 P's in triple, no matter how you spell it. With the EL or the LE. And it's the weirdest thing. There's a lot of weird things in Utah.
There you go. I'm drinking the Life and Limb. I mentioned it to you before. Life and Limb from.
So we're both drinking 10.2s.
10.2s, yeah. Life and Limb from Sierra Nevada. And this was a collab with Dogfish Head.
Yes, it was. Or was that Limb and Life? Because they did a Limb and Life too, right?
It's Life and Limb was originally a collab with Dogfish Head, yeah. And it's a American strong ale, so it's a dark brown ale, right? But it's an American strong ale brewed with maple syrup and birch syrup.
It is. That's a lovely beer. I love that beer.
So
I haven't had it in so long.
I got this can. I acquired this can at Mill River down in North Carolina at the Sierra Nevada brewery. So
that's a beautiful place.
It is. It's Disneyland for craft beer.
And we've said it before on the show. The second you start driving down the driveway, you start to understand the money put in here. Just the driveway.
Stupid.
You can tell that there is like at least I think there's got to be $1 billion put in that place at least.
I'll be in Asheville a week from Friday.
Again,
we're not going to Mills River. We're just
because you won't ever leave.
We have a day. Yeah, we only have one day in Asheville before we got to go to Nashville, which I'll bring up. CBC.
That actually rhymes.
Nashville and Asheville do rhyme. That's absolutely true.
So, we're going straight up to Dr. Seuss on the show.
Exactly. So, so anyway, all right. So CBC's coming up on that note. So this is going to be an interesting beer fest. Al, Dave, I both wish you both could get down there.
I really want to go, but I'm using so much of my vacation time already because Utah was 2 weeks. I'm going to Ireland this year, going to Montreal. So we really don't have the time.
There's going to be John Hall's already planning a ton of events.
That's another reason why I want to go.
So I saw that. Was it some big sour thing that he's doing, or
it was a big smoke beer fest?
A big smoke beer fest.
Smoke beer fest.
Yeah, because I just want to go and heckle them.
I know. Yeah, so it's going to be at one brewery. It's going to be a lot of the local breweries are bringing over their smoke beers. They're brewing a smoke beer for the event. There'll be other beers there. And I told Matt, I was like, we're going to that event because Matt does not like smoke beers.
Oh,
so says, we're going to that event. He says, but I don't like smoke beers. I says, I promise you, there'll be other beers you can have. We're going to that event.
Wait a second. He's Polish. How does he not like smoke beers?
Not like smoke beers?
The Polish invented it with the Golodzinskis.
He doesn't like smoke beers.
I'm disappointed in the boy.
But,
okay, so now I'll take my first sip of this beer.
Mm-hmm.
This is a beautiful freaking Belgian triple.
The question is, will you stay awake long enough to drink the whole thing?
No, because I'm working on 2 hours of sleep. Expect me to be snoring by the end of the show, and that will not be the first time that happened on this show.
No, he's been asleep by the end of the show too before. Well, that was also involved 4 beers and 2 big glasses of bourbon.
But it is also
that was about 2.5 years ago, actually.
That was very close to the beginning of the podcast, and it is the reason why I usually eat at the beginning of every show.
That started with his whole eating thing
because I was so late coming back home from work that I didn't have time to eat before the show.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And it was the first time that Tom Mulvihill was on the show. Tom and I have known each other for so damn long that the first time we were actually face to face drinking together, we tried to outdrink each other.
So
I lost.
He did. Tom and I were talking for a good 10-15 minutes at the end of the show while Dave was literally lying back
like this,
snoring.
I wasn't actually snoring.
No, you snored for a couple minutes. You did. In any event, all right. So we talked about CBC.
But in my defense, the next morning I get a text from Tom Mulvihill going, "I have to admit, today hurts."
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
So
Tuesday night wasn't a Friday night, right? Tom does his shows on Friday nights, so that's fine, right? Whatever, right?
Yeah, tomorrow we have to go to work.
We got to go to work. Yeah. So, on that note, I mentioned CBC before. There's a bunch of events coming up. Wanted to talk about that because I know Al, Dave's going to actually. Well, Al, you're going to be at a bunch of them. Dave's actually going to be at one that he's never been at before. So we'll talk about we'll talk about beer barbecue bacon.
Correct. Or the B3 showdown.
The B3 showdown, right?
That's actually where Al and I met.
That's correct.
There you go.
That's correct. That was at the original location.
Yep, in Lewis Morris Park.
It was Morris Park.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. You were helping to pour carton at the VIP hour.
That's a good look. That's a good look on him.
All right. Just don't say Augie. Oh, crap. I said Augie. Crap, 3 times. Hold on. I got to do it.
Jesus Christ.
There we go.
There's the son of a bitch. Oh, I thought he was actually bugging it for a link.
No.
It's a great event. The last couple of years they've had it at Menon Arena, right outside Menon Arena.
Right.
Just don't ever get roped into judging the damn thing.
Are you judging this year?
Thanks.
All right.
No, I'm not. Al gets roped into it every year. Chris Mazie gets roped into it every year, and you spend the next 2 days in a meat coma.
There you
go. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you basically eat for 2 days.
Yeah,
like, you really don't get hungry till like Monday.
And you've drank enough for about 70 for so many hours.
No, you know what though, the drinking part of it is actually the
not
easier
as bad
part.
Yeah,
it's not as bad because and the way they did it last year, they're doing it again this year. It's blind, so you don't know who the brewery is. So they basically hand you the box with a number on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
They tell you the styles. They tell you, which, this is whatever the.
Yeah, but if something's got baobab in it, you know who it is.
Yeah, no. But you don't know the brewery, and some of the ones that I was going, oh, this is this, and it wasn't. It was somebody else. So I like that it's blind because I'm sort of like
You don't want to be looked at. Oh, you're partial. Blah 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 blah. You're
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And hopefully, what they've done is that they're sticking to for the food trucks only 2 dishes. Because that year we were getting 4 and 5 from each food truck.
Yeah, remember we got 5 racks of ribs.
Oh,
I'm like, we need 1 rack. we could split it up between the 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, really? I'm like, I'm not going to eat the whole rack of ribs. If I don't like it after the first one, I think I'm diving into
two ribs apiece. You're good to go. Done. Yeah,
that's it. I swear to God, I was in a meat coma for 2 days. It's inhuman.
Well, last year, the guy who won for best use of bacon was the bacon truck that all they did was bacon.
Well,
bacon on a stick. That's his truck. Is bacon on a stick. And I said to everybody, I'm like, how does this guy not win? That's all he's doing. It was just bacon. Like, and he maybe drizzled a little hot honey on one of them, and like the other one was just I'm like, that's all he's doing. He has to win.
Take that, drizzle it with caramel, and dip it in chocolate.
Wow. There you go. That's dessert. That's dessert.
Okay. I want to throw this out there. Not that I want to stop the conversation of beer, barbecue, bacon, but I saw online somewhere the other day. Take a pound of bacon, right? Take each slice of bacon, twist it into a thin strip, and put them all on on a sheet. Sprinkle it with cayenne pepper, ground sugar,
yep,
and hot honey.
Yep.
Put in the oven and just eat them. That's it. Just take them out.
And the thing is, that whole pound will be gone in 15 minutes.
At least,
bacon
at
sticks.
At most.
Yeah. Bacon Twizzlers.
Exactly.
There you go.
Not a damn thing wrong with that.
But no, it's a fun event.
And my heart just went, yes, there is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fun event. It's a great time. As long as the weather is good. I mean, sometimes it does rain. I mean, last year it rained. I mean, we got poured on probably the second half of the show. But
what is the second half of it? That's the best. So when you get
because we're done in about 2 hours.
Yeah, but everyone's drunk, so they enjoy the rain.
Yeah,
because at the beginning, everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's raining."
Yeah,
it's like no, but if it's like everyone gets drunk first, then it rains. People are sliding down the hills on their bellies.
Right, but the only thing that and this happens every year, no matter what location we're in. Clearly we have the awards in the front, and you see us hovering around with notepads, and we're taking notes, and there's boxes and all kinds of stuff. I can't tell you. There's at least 20 to 30 people who walk by and think that those samples are for them. Oh, this is where you get the beer, and they try to grab it. We're like, no. This is for the judges. Like, there's 9,000 tents set up with people with beer. Why would you think this would be the tent? Like, hello. So
I remember when we judged, I was getting so full of beer that I was pouring it under the table in the grass.
And a big puddle.
And then Maisie's like, I'm gonna go take a nap under there. I'm
sipping. Like, I don't need a whole pour of a glass to judge it.
No, but 3
sips, stop, boom, done.
I said to Chris, I said, don't lie down there. That grass is drunk and it's gonna grope you.
Now, Dave, you're not going this year.
No.
You're not going this year.
No, we're not going this year.
However,
I'm breaking my cherry on a beer fest.
17 years he has not gone to AC Beer Fest. He's finally going to
You're
AC
going.
Beer Fest.
There's 2 things about this. The first thing is the reason I've never gone to AC Beer Fest is because AC Beer Fest turns into a drunken shit show at some point.
And the problem is
your point.
I mean, I'm sorry.
But Al, on your show, what did I talk about? When I was on your show, I talked about being on the side where I'm pouring, so I don't have to be with the drunks.
Yeah. Oh no, of course.
Now, granted, I am a drunk on the other side of the taps, but that's more fun than being a drunk on the other side, that side of the taps. But
the difference between AC Beer Fest in the convention center and AC Beer Fest at Bader Field. There's more room to roam. So you're not exactly piled up on people where you would have been if you were in the convention center.
But there is one main reason I am going this year.
Oh, yeah. Dropkick Murphys. Oh, that's a great shot.
That's a great picture.
Let's see. At that point. All right, wait a second. So I have the Departed Souls hat on. So at that point, I was already mildly sunburned and probably on some sort of pharmaceutical in addition to beer.
There might be a tincture or 2 in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a tincture. Yes, a tincture. Yes.
But Al, you absolutely nailed it. The main reason I'm going is the fucking drop kicks are playing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. John did a fantastic job of getting the bands. Actually, I'm going to see John tomorrow night at Alternate Ending. I'm running down there for a couple of minutes. They're selling tickets.
Oh, cool.
To AC Beer Fest.
That's right. That's right. He is.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Dropkick Murphys on Saturday, 311 on Sunday. I mean, how do you beat that?
Jesus, yeah.
I mean, think about it. They're doing the Adjunct Festival the weekend before on Memorial Day, in Atlantic City. You're paying a boatload of money for a ticket to stand on the beach to watch a few bands, with nothing else included.
That's it.
For less
$75. You're getting a ticket with unlimited beer for 4 hours and watching one or two great bands. Come on, can't beat it.
No, yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it this year. We already have our hotel space.
Nice.
I'm already. I may wear some padding for the mosh pit at Dropkick because I'm old and getting fragile. But that's going to be a lot of freaking fun.
Yeah. It is.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. John's gonna be on the show beforehand. So the third week in May, but we'll as usual. But we'll talk
So
about
when you see him out, tell him we said hi.
Yeah,
I will do that.
Yeah, he's it's gonna be a great time. The whole weekend's gonna be great. You going Saturday, Sunday, both?
No, I'm just going Saturday. I'm coming down on Friday. Staying over Friday night and Saturday night, and then going back Sunday.
So we'll spend some time at the Seed and wherever else on Friday.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. When you
go that's the plan. Like my plan is
because the Seed won't be crowded whatsoever.
Not at all.
No. Yeah. And Chicken and Pete's won't be crowded at the Trop either.
No, not at all.
No, of course not.
But Johnny and I, for our fans, both of you.
There's three.
Oh, there's three now. There's three
now. All right.
Wow, awesome. Yeah. Growth. I love growth. We'll go Facebook Live a few times from the festival. Sometimes together, maybe separate.
Sometimes together, and occasionally Dave will go live and bring me in while he goes live. So
right.
And then I'll go.
Fortunately, I don't have to pour. I just need to be near the booth. So I can go Facebook Live.
And one of these years
we just have enough people that are pouring between Jess and Danny and a few other people. So.
And one of these years we'll get on Podcast Row. Do they have a podcast?
I don't think they did. They did a very limited.
They did a small one. It was only the what's the crap?
What's the crap?
No, what the hell's your name?
Network.
Hopped Up? No, not Hopped Up Network.
No, I don't think they were there.
The beer. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. There was only one podcast there, and Matt and I were actually on it last year, but they were the only ones that were there last year.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was a power issue, right?
It was a power or
connectivity.
Okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So he didn't want to. Yeah, Podcast Row. He didn't do it because we were supposed to, even though Coastal was there, we were supposed to have a lager room podcast, but John, in early April, said, we're not doing a podcast row. We're just having one podcast.
Yeah, because I was supposed to go down
it's the guys from Long Island. What the hell their name? Steve and somebody else. I forget their names.
For the love of the brew?
No, it was something else. I'll find it. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Hi, Al. How you doing? How's Chase? I heard Chase earlier.
Yes, he's good. He needed to go outside for a little bit. So
was that what the barking was?
Yeah.
Hey, gotta pee and poo.
That's it. What are you doing there talking about beer? Let me outside. Jeez.
I got to do my stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, the one thing we can talk about is speaking of New Jersey breweries. So anybody who is
The Wort, a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But speaking of New Jersey breweries, we've already brought up Forgotten Boardwalk. We have not brought up Bolero yet, but the thing that the two of them have in common is this year is the Zane Lamprey Comedy Tour is coming around.
Yep.
And they're July 1st, they are at Bolero. I forget when they are Forgotten. And I'm Forgotten. They have space to put this on.
It's a small space.
That's a really small space.
I actually like it's small.
I love it.
I actually like the outdoor area that Jamie has.
Yes,
it's
really not that small.
Cozy, it's nice. It's not small, but it's nice.
She did expand the tap room from Flying Fish's tap room because she had to put in the skee ball.
The skee ball machines, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so she did expand it. So there's a little more room there than when Flying Fish did the tap room. I don't know if there's still, Bolero's got a lot of space to do something like this. I know that
they do, but they don't.
They do, but they don't. I know Brian was there last year. He said it was great because he did this last year, so he's coming around. So if you
it's June 1st, right?
July 1st.
July 1st.
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
So if so that'll be cool. I've already bought the VIP tickets for it to get there. So if you were ever a fan of Three Sheets, Drinking Made Easy, or Chug, this is something to get to. And yeah, go right ahead and challenge Zane Lamprey to a Chug contest. You'll probably lose.
You'll lose. You're gonna lose.
You're gonna lose. Right. You'll probably Jim the Cop. And if you're a fan of Three Sheets, you know what I'm talking about. So it's cool that these he picked 2 breweries in New Jersey to get to.
It's nice.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's an awesome thing. Yeah.
It should be a fun event. I'm not around on July 1st. I'll be up. Actually, be in Bethel Woods. I'll be seeing Robert Plant and Allison Krause.
Oh, nice.
That sounds awful.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like a terrible day.
We have to plan a PNC concert at some point this year. Just to
who's playing?
Nobody.
I have not.
I've not seen
nobody. Nobody.
I'll be honest. The Boy George thing is about as
that's
close
it.
Culture Club.
That is it.
Like the closest
that's also far.
Only one.
But
it's a Wednesday night. Maybe take a flyer.
And you know what? And even this year, I looked at Summer Stage. It's not as strong as last year.
Oh, I'm going to Yacht Rock. I'll be there.
Yacht Rock. So that's every damn year.
I'll be there, and you'll be there, and we'll be
because
there.
Last year we were at the initial concert, which was the Offspring. That was awesome. Oh my God, that was awesome.
Yeah, there's a couple of good acts at the Summer Stage, but it's not.
It's not like it was last year. Because also last year we went to Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats.
I'll be honest with you.
I missed that. It was sold out, and I wanted to see that, and I didn't. But they're playing. I think they're doing See Here Now, which I'm going to be at.
You're going where?
See Here Now.
In Asbury.
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to go talk to
Killers
somebody after the show.
That's the biggest night. The one the Killers and
the Saturday night.
That's a Saturday night. That's the bigger one. Yeah. But honestly, at Summer Stage at Stone Pony, other than Yacht Rock, I think the best night is in September with
Southside.
Which we call it Southside. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, Southside puts on such a great show, even after all these years.
Yep. You know what the problem is? The problem is you're not seeing a lot of these bands touring because it's too much money. Yeah. Like the Who just put out an album, and Roger Daltrey did an interview and said, "We're not going to be touring America." And they were, "Well, why aren't you touring America?" And he said, "Look," he said, "in order for us to make money, if we do a limited run of 15 shows, we don't make our money till the 11th show." Oof. After paying everybody else out, the arenas, the insurance, the crew, this, that, all this other stuff. So he goes, if somebody gets COVID and we have to cancel a show, we've lost money. Now we're going into the 12th show and then the 13th show. And then what? Now you're rescheduling those shows for next year and you're doing them for free because you're not making any money. I mean, Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks have already canceled 4 shows they've had to push off to next year. They're losing money. So, thank you, dear, for the lighting.
It's become.
I couldn't get up to get the switch. You saw that I was in the dark.
Yeah, and we saw her wandering around back there, and she took care of you. She takes care of you.
She does. She
does. She's good. She's good.
But
yeah, that's the problem. These artists are not making money anymore, which is why you're seeing them selling off their catalogs.
The only people
to make money up front.
The only people that are making money are the ticket agencies that have robots.
Right. Well, no, but the other thing is you're seeing a lot of artists now doing these limited runs at places. It's why U2 is at the Sphere, which is owned by Jim Dolan and MSG, and they're putting that out there for a limited amount of dates because it's guaranteed money.
Whoa. Jim Dolan did a good thing?
No. Jim Dolan never. No.
Oh, God. Okay. You almost made it sound like he did something good.
Correct. So the Sphere is this new concert venue or entertainment venue in Las Vegas that's being built with Dolan money. So he owns it. So U2 is in there now, I think he just released another set of dates today. I think it's like almost 2 weeks or 3 weeks of dates. They have all these
I think it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah. They have all these crazy packages. I looked at it like for a party of 4, this is without airfare. You can get tickets and hotel and all this other stuff for like $900 a person.
For a party
I'm like,
of 4?
Okay. Yeah.
That's not awful considering.
You get 900 a person.
Oh, yeah, per person. I thought it was total.
Per person.
Never mind.
Per person.
No. If it was total,
$3,600.
Yeah.
Oh no. Hell with that. No.
Yeah.
No.
And you have to drive out to the. It's not like this venue is. There's a hotel attached to it. It's just the venue. It's like going to see a UNLV game. You're not staying there. You have
no, unless you get to sit down and talk politics with Bono and get to punch him every time you don't agree with him. It's not worth it.
Well, Friday I'll be at the Beacon Theater seeing Bono. So with his memoir tour.
I've seen Bono 3 times. I have not seen Bono in 12 years. I've seen Bono 3 times, but I haven't seen him in 12 years. So I gotta.
But that's what a lot of these artists are doing. That's why you're seeing them signing these deals to do residencies in Las Vegas, because it's guaranteed money. It's a fixed venue. The union or whatever. Everybody's getting paid the same amount of money for X amount of nights. So it's less of a conflict. Everyone has to go there in order to see us. It's not spreading out in a bus.
Right. The upside of all this is without the big names coming in, you're forced to actually explore, because there's a saying out there that if you think that the music today sucks, you're not looking hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's correct.
What's out there on the radio, what's out there on Spotify, that stuff sucks. Right. Look harder. Go there, see the smaller bands, find these struggling bands that are doing the music that you like, because there is some damn good music out there.
I'll give you a perfect example. Joe Piscopo actually turned me on to a new band that I'd never heard of. His son listens to him. They're called Polyphia. I had no idea who they were. Yeah, so they're a progressive rock band, and they do like pop and rock and all this other stuff. And I'm listening. It's all instrumental. There's no vocals.
Really?
4 pieces. Yeah. I'm listening to them. I'm like, these guys are really good. I mean, they're tight. They're really good musically.
So it's YYC and La Villa Shaggyatto all over again, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they're playing, I think they're doing Terminal 5 in October.
Oh, Terminal 5's a great space, isn't it?
But it's like a Thursday night, and then they're doing a Friday night in Philly at the Franklin Music Hall. So I'm thinking about taking a flyer. It's not too far from Yards, Source and Fishtown, that kind of.
That area.
Yeah, 5-6 minutes down that way, right off of 95.
Spring Garden, right off of 95.
Yeah, because
Spring Garden Road.
Yeah, because the Fillmore is down just south of Fishtown.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And
the Fillmore is right by where other half is.
Other half,
yeah, literally around the corner,
and also the Source.
Correct.
Well, it's right next to other half. Is my point.
Yeah, it's right next to other half. Yeah, you can see it from the doors.
Yeah,
correct.
The Fillmore, we were just there. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And so, one of my favorite bands that I've come across, they're called the Wombats. They're still putting out new stuff. The Wombats, right. Their lyrics are amazing. This guy can write. The music's fantastic. I love the bass player just puts out some great stuff, and I love bass. So look at the Wombats, but Polyphia I'm going to look into.
Here's the best part about the show, though. I looked up the tickets. Now, obviously, it's a standing room only show. $30.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing with $30.
That's. Great. I mean, I think that's part of the other reason people don't want to spend. Like my friend of mine is going to go see Bruce Springsteen at the end of August when he's starting his couple of nights at MetLife or whatever. So he tried to get the Sunday night show all the way up in the rafters. The tickets were obscene. It was like $300. 2 nights later,
Dave, get on that. Dave, get on that.
I'll get on that and see if I can get some tickets.
Same section.
I may have a connection.
2 nights later, he bought them already, but 2 nights later, same section. I think he's paying about $100 a ticket.
Really?
So
that's not bad.
It all depends on. Well, Sunday night people figure, I'll just take Monday off when it's
right.
Yeah. Like,
true.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go. That kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I've got it.
If you haven't seen Bruce, go see him.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
I mean,
it's
an experience.
It is absolutely an experience. He puts on a show like nobody else. He will play longer and harder. I think the only band I've ever seen play longer and harder than he does might be Southside.
The Cure.
Cure puts on a show.
And the Eagles.
I've seen the
Eagles. I saw the Eagles with my wife in 2008.
Was that the Hell Freezes Over tour?
No. That was the.
I saw the Hell Freezes over.
Oh
God, that was a long time ago.
Eden Tour, Last of Eden, Garden of Eden, something.
Yeah, something
Eden.
like that. Yeah,
heading out to Eden. I don't know, whatever.
Shit! No, that was. Oh my God, the Hell Freezes Over was in the
94.
Yeah,
94. They played for about an hour and a half. They took about a 30-minute break and
came back in
they were
2 hours.
Still playing. Well, no, they were still playing. We left at 12. My mom called because she was watching our son. And it was 12:30 in the morning, and my mom's like, "Are you guys coming home? Like, I gotta get home. Like, we had to get on the train and go home." And they were still playing at 12:30 at night, so that was impressive.
That's
impressive. Did 3.5 hours without a break, and we left at 1 a.m, and they were still playing. And he did the catalog from beginning to end. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
there's so many great bands out there to see, and some of those that may not have been very popular in their day had a kind of a popularity. Another band I will implore you to see when and if they ever come around again is The Church.
I've not seen them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Churches. Yeah. I mean,
so there's only
Dave knows how I feel about The Church. So.
There's only 2 acts that usually when a band is up there, I don't want to hear you talking. I want to hear you playing. I want to hear you singing. There's only 2 acts that I want to hear you talk. Springsteen's one of them.
Right.
The Church is the other because I can't remember his name right now. He's hilarious. He is so sarcastic. You have to follow him.
And if you like the Cure, you'll like The Church.
Right.
So, right. Yeah, really well.
Yep.
Nice. But yeah.
But I agree with you, Dave. At most concerts, don't sing because you're probably not that good. And I hate when people take video, and I'm guilty of this. When I've had a few in me, you start taking video of a band and you start singing the song. Into the
all you hear is you. All you hear is you.
Right. All you hear is you. Right. And it's drunken and it's awful. It's off key.
But now I agree with you 100% on the don't sing, but and no one will ever, unfortunately, do this again. But at a Rush concert, air drum to your heart's content.
Oh, 100%.
Because you can't hear it.
Right.
I'll tell you one thing. This is my proof that I was a good father. My 2 boys, I taught them something. There's a song playing on the radio. The 2 are in the back seat arguing. They're fighting. They're hitting each other. It was In the Air Tonight. When the drums kicked in, they both stopped fighting, air drummed it. When that was over, they went back to fighting. I'm like,
all right,
I'm a damn good father. I've raised them right.
Exactly.
Because I don't care what you're doing. When the drums kick in on In the Air Tonight, you air drum that bitch.
Absolutely.
Even
and I will take this moment to say that my kids love 80s music. My oldest daughter, she loves 80s music and the Beatles. Both my younger daughter and my son, they love 80s music. My son loves 80s hair bands. And granted, he loves a lot of other stuff too, but we'll leave that alone. But while I'm talking about my kids, I do want to take the moment to say congratulations to my younger daughter, Rachel. Okay.
Cheers.
And her boyfriend, Corey, they got engaged last week. So
Mazel tov, congratulations.
And John is happy about this because Corey's into craft beer.
Corey is a very, very big craft beer connoisseur at 27.
And brings John beer.
And brings me beer. And I
won him over.
I pat myself.
Good way to brown nose the dad.
I pat myself on the back for his craft beer knowledge. Came from me. So there you go.
Will he be volunteering in the tasting room when it opens?
He will be.
He has no choice.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He's the greeter. Hi.
He's like he's already asked my daughter to marry him, so he's the son-in-law, so he doesn't have a choice. So
no, he doesn't have a choice. The funny thing is, on our trip, we were in Cedar City, Utah, and we're sitting in Policy Kings Brewing, and they're playing 80s music, and the 20-something, not really quite sure gender, beer tender. This was her selection. And she goes, "Oh, I just absolutely love 80s music." I said, that's the one thing that I absolutely love is it doesn't matter which generation it is. Gen X's music is eternal. Everyone loves our music.
And here's the thing I got to tell you. All right. And I've thought about this for many, many years. 80s music is eternal.
Yeah.
50s music is eternal.
Yes. 80s fashion, on the other hand.
No, forget about that. I'm talking about music. 20s music is to an extent eternal. I mean, it's obviously it's 100 years old now, but still, it's eternal, right? But so it's so my point. It's exactly. But it's every 30 years, 20s, 50s, 80s. So that means the 2010s music should have been eternal, and it wasn't.
No. But it really wasn't.
It's interesting that you say that about 50s music, because 60s music was sort of transformative, right? 60s music, early 60s, Beatles and sort of that, 2.5 minute sort of song or whatever, but transitioned at the end of the decade into this longer form, sort of, prog rock kind of.
By the time we got to Let It Be, we're exploring prog rock.
Right. Correct. Right. Whereas the 50s has that niche of, you hear the Beach Boys, it's the Beach Boys. Like that's
that's what 50s, that's 60s.
Late 50s, 60s.
Late 50s.
But even during that era, the inspiration for the Stones, the inspiration for the Beatles,
Chubby Checker.
They're all inspiration. All 50s music was inspiration for early 60s music. Absolutely.
But Spencer Davis, the Yardbirds, they all point to one individual. Muddy Waters.
Right.
True.
Right. Every single one of them lists Muddy Waters as one of their major influences. And to anybody who's listening, if you've not listened to Muddy, pull up some Muddy. If you like jazz, if you don't like jazz, if you don't like Delta blues, don't bother. But if you really want to explore the roots of the British invasion, which
that's it.
Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters.
Absolutely.
It was all of these.
Well, Muddy Waters took the best of the 50s and made it his own, and then the 60s took Muddy Waters.
All of these teenagers in England are listening to Muddy Waters.
Absolutely.
And went, we need to do this.
Yep. Right.
And then the British invasion sparked everything that happened in the U.S. after that.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
Yep.
So it's amazing because I love my love of. I mean, I got my love of music from my father because
I got it from my mother.
I remember being 4, 5, 6 years old. Saturday nights we'd be in his car taking rides, listening to the Saturday Night Sock Hop on WCBS FM, right, 101.1. So, and
I hate the fact that the music that we grew up with is now considered oldies on 101.1.
Well, no, but it was our music, right? Yeah, exactly. We're in high school is oldies, right? Yeah. Well, you know why, Dave and Al? We're oldies. That's
right.
Foreigner Urgent is over 30 years old.
No. Foreigner Urgent is
42
years old.
Why do you think they're doing their final tour?
1980 came out in
81. 81. Foreigner Urgent came out in 81. All right. Yeah. Van Halen, you really got me? Van Halen 1?
It's 50 years old.
45 years old.
Jesus.
Well, today is 33 years Black Sabbath 7 in Hell with Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, man.
You think about it, 43 years. A long time.
I released an adult contemporary R&B, jazz R&B album. It's 31 years old this year. All right. Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 2000 was 5 years ago to me. I also released
the prog rock EP. That's 32 years old this year.
Right? All you're telling us is you're an old fuck.
I'm old.
You're old. That's all. That's exactly what it is.
Just look at his beard.
I know. I'm getting ready to shave mine. There's too much gray now.
I know. Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah.
No, I have to shave because mine gives up. Mine gives up my age. My eyebrows have the gray. That's killing me.
Well, listen.
I don't mind the salt and pepper here.
Right. Well, on that note, I need to jet. I got a couple things to do before I have to. I'm the one who's got to be up at 3 a.m. So
I know you got it. Before you jet, though, we got a top 3 list really quick. So
sure.
Tonight's top 3 list, obviously, the main topic of conversation earlier in the show, obviously, was Cape May Brewing buying Flying Fish Brewing. So tonight's top 3 list is top 3 Flying Fish beers of all time. There we go. So, Al, start us off. You with yours.
All right. So, I'm just going to go clearly by my Untapped ratings because that's all I'm going to look at here.
It's all good.
The wobbly cow coffee milk stout I had rated as a 4.
Whoa. I don't even remember that one.
That was back in 2018. Let's see what's next. The next one was the Jersey Juice, their version of a New England hazy. I think I clocked that in at just under 4. It was 3.75.
Jersey Juice was good. I remember Jersey Juice. That was
yes.
great.
And then my first one that I mentioned, the Abbey Double, is probably my favorite from them. I mean, I had a couple of the Exit Series ones, which wasn't bad, but
Abbey Double, as old as it is, it was never an Exit Series. It was just Abbey Double.
That's correct.
It came out before Exit Series was invented.
Yep. Right. Yeah. And still a great beer. And that, to me, is what Cape May should be doing. They should be doing those types of beers.
Absolutely. 100%.
And refreshing the brand if they're going to, moving forward.
There you go. Wobbly Coffee Milk Stout, Jersey Juice, and Abbey Double. Dave, what are your 3?
I'm gonna really probably piss John off with some of these. I'm gonna throw him an honorable mention up there. The first honorable mention. So my list is pretty Exit Series heavy. How could it not be? Exit 6, the Wallonian Rye, is my honorable mention. So that would be 4, if anything. Number 3, and I love this beer. This was such a great interpretation of the style, was Exit 1. Do you remember what Exit 1 was?
No.
I remember Exit 1, but I can't think of it. What is it?
That was their Oyster Stout.
Oyster Stout, yes, it was.
Oh, yeah. Right.
That, and they did such a great job with a non-popular style. It's popular if you drink it without knowing what it is, right? But if you tell somebody, so John knows Meathead, my friend Meathead, and he told me once, never give me an oyster stout. But he stopped and goes, unless you don't tell me it's an oyster stout.
I got to tell you one thing. Oyster Stout, you talk about that. One of the best beers I've ever had in that category was from Denver, Colorado, and it was an Oyster Stout of sorts.
Yes, the Rocky Mountain Oyster
Stout from Wynkoop. Yeah, so
I need to get there for that.
Well, we'll leave that alone. But
anyway, Meathead, I gave him a stout. He's like, "Oh, I like this because this is smooth. It's silky. There's almost a little saltiness. Like you son of a bitch." I had given them Pearls Before Swine by Oscar Blues. Because God damn you. So anyway, that's my number. My number 3 is Oyster Stout. Number 2 is Forever Unloved Sandy. This was a wheat beer. I think it was a very perfectly rendered wheat beer. This is back in the day when Flying Fish really knew
mango too. There was mango in it too, right? It was a mango wheat beer. Yeah, absolutely.
Was it? Yeah. And Forever Unloved. It was
Forever Unloved Sandy, right?
Yeah, F.U. Sandy.
Yep. Right.
And I really think, as far as their talents, their skill, I think they peaked there. But my number 1,
it's a shame because it's 11 years ago. So
yeah.
And
I think that's where they peaked. But my number 1 is again in the Exit Series. We mentioned it earlier. It's Exit 9. That's that hoppy Scarlet Ale. And I make that my number 1 because I'm a Rutgers alum. This is named after the Scarlet Knights from Rutgers. This was an East Coast hoppy red, right? Because we had those West Coast hoppy reds, which were just really challenging, delicious. I mean, Bear Republic's hoppy red or Hot Rod, right?
Hot Rod, yeah.
Hot Rod red. I mean, this beer was an amazing beer, but you couldn't drink more than one of these things. It exhausted you.
Right.
This is more of an East Coast hoppy red where you could drink more of those. Unfortunately, it became Redfish. Right. Redfish was a very pale representation of the original.
Yeah, it was not what it was. It should have stayed the way it was.
It was a shame. So there's my top 3 with honorable mentions.
I'll throw you mine. I'm going to give you 3 honorable mentions really quick.
3? Oh,
3. I'm going to give you 3. 3 is, and I'm just going to blow through these. I'm not going to elaborate. Exit 3, Blueberry Braggot. That was actually really, really good.
The only problem I had with Blueberry Braggot is it was really hard to pick out the blueberry in it sometimes.
Anytime I had it, the blueberries right there too. I had it on draft too. Got
boozy.
It was boozy. It was very boozy.
And I think the booze hid the blueberry.
Exit 7, the pork roll porter, as Dave Campanelle mentioned before. It was a smoke beer. It was very tasty. And they did one in 2017, 2018. They did an Irish potato candy stout.
Yes, which is
I remember that. I remember that.
That was an homage to Cape May, which is known for their Irish potato candies.
Right. Gee, I wonder how that happened. Let's think about that.
So the marriage now makes more sense.
Makes a little sense, right? But my top 3 are number 3, Exit 12 is a Maibach. It was a very tasty beer.
Yep. I remember I remember the Maibach. I'm probably not as much of a fan of it as you were.
Yeah, it was very.
I may not have understood Maibachs at the time though, because that was so long ago.
It was a very good beer. Exit number 2, Exit 10 was the Trail Mix. It was a brown ale. It was very.
I never had the Trail Mix.
Very good. It was very good.
How did it stand up to? How did it compare to Gorp?
It was very similar. A little bit
because Carton Gorp's was a trail ale.
Right. Gorp was a little boozier than Trail Mix, but it was very solid. It was a nice drinkable. It was a drinkable Gorp. How's that?
Okay.
A more not that Gorp wasn't drinkable. It was a more drinkable Gorp.
Gorp was exceptionally drinkable. It was
easier to drinkable.
Gotcha.
All right. And my number 1, Exit 17, their barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout was stupid.
Oh yes.
I never had that one, and I was.
And I will tell both of you. I will tell both of you this. I have 1 bottle of it downstairs.
Really?
You can both have a little with me when I open the bottle.
So, Al, when we're going down to Johnny's, making him make us some bratwursts.
I'll cook the bratwurst and we'll open the bottle of Exit 17. There you go.
That sounds like a good summer night.
Works for me.
A couple cigars. I don't know.
Done. Absolutely.
I swore off cigars, but.
All right. Well,
there's a health
Dave
reason.
Can sit there while you and I. Dave can sit there while you and I have a cigar. So
it's a health reason and a personal reason, emotional reason.
There you go.
I lost a friend to throat cancer who was a big cigar aficionado. So.
Sorry about that.
But
cheers to him.
Yes.
Seriously.
Cheers.
Right cheers to Steve.
There you go. All right. On that note, Al.
He gave me my first punch.
There you go.
Oh.
Well, Al and I can handle that. We can we can work on that for you.
No, I smoked it after his. You know when I smoked it? Right after his wake.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great
way to honor him.
That was a good way to honor him.
Yeah.
All right, Al, don't go anywhere. I was going to talk for 2 seconds. I know you got to get up at 3 a.m. 2 seconds. I got to talk to you. We'll just wrap up the show on that note.
Sure.
While we're quit ahead. We're quit while we're ahead. There we go.
That 10.2 just hit shot.
10.2. We'll quit while we're ahead. Anyway, thank you for listening.
We didn't think I would get through the damn show.
I know. We want to wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Log Room. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen.
We were really close.
We were damn close. Really damn close. If it wasn't for your camera, we would have been on time. Literally.
No, because you sent me the link at 29 after.
Right.
We would have been 2 minutes late.
We would have been a minute or two late. So that anyway, for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so.
We argue about this every week out.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Al, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks, guys.
We really appreciate it. Yeah, everybody, listen, seriously.
Love having Al on the show. Was this his fourth time on the show now?
This is his fourth time on the show. Fourth time on the show, yeah.
5, do I get a prize?
No. 5, you get a prize. 5, you get a prize. 5, you get a prize.
Set of steak knives.
Yeah,
third prize is your 5.
A new car.
we give you a bottle of Flying Fish Redfish. Redfish. Yeah.
Anyway,
or your choice of climax.
I got some Nautical Twilight for you. There you go. You like that the best anyway. But in any event, thanks for coming on. Anybody listen? Anybody wants to listen and listen? 9:70 a.m. The Answer on 11 o'clock on Sunday nights.
Yes.
Al's the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast,
the
AG Craft Beer Cast on Facebook,
right?
And of course,
if you want,
as well.
just do a search later on. The podcast is up a couple of minutes after the live show ends. You can download and listen to it at your leisure. Apple, iHeart, Amazon. We're all over the place. Google Podcasts, all of it.
Probably all the stuff that we're on.
Yeah, everything we're on, they're on. So just do the same thing. Check that all out, and have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great week. Have a great rest of your week.
And a happy birthday on Friday
to both of you.
Have a great week. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend.
I've got a damn good week.
Happy birthday to Al.
Happy birthday to Johnny.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you. And drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care.
Yeah, just not like we did today.
Oh, wait, we got a comment on here. Hold on. Who's that? Irene Wilkins. She said cheers.
Hi,
cheers.
Irene. And hi, Kitty.
Hi, Kitty.
Yeah, no, look at her profile picture there. That's a kitty cat.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Kitty.
Yeah,
there you
looking
go.
At the window.
Cheers, Irene.
Meow.
Anyway, Al, happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you, John.
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday to both of you.
There we go. And Irene Wilkins just said happy Earth Day.
Earth Day. No, Earth Day was a couple days ago.
Exactly.
That was on Saturday.
That was on Saturday, right? Anyway, we'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, God, this triple's so good, John.